Hello, welcome to this class designed to work through a little Vinyasa flow. We'll start lying down, but today for the practice, you could definitely do with a belt and also a couple of blocks or bricks. Let's start lying down. So here, get yourself settled, maybe the legs extended or the feet flat and the knees up towards the ceiling. Palms of the hands turned up towards the ceiling or the sky if you are lucky to practice outside. And take a few breaths to land. As if you were a monkey jumping from branch to branch, to just land. Notice how you're feeling in your body, in your mind, in your breath. Know to only go as far as you feel is comfortable, that is paramount. When you feel ready to, you're going to open your eyes if they're not already open. Bring the feet flat to the floor if they're not already there. And then we'll take the knees one at a time in towards the chest and rock from side to side a little bit. Maybe take a few circles. And then in the other direction. And then we'll release the right foot flat to the floor and take the left leg up towards the ceiling, warming the back of the leg. Maybe even going to the calf. Foot to the floor, other leg, so you stretch with your hands simply to start with. Back of the leg and the calf. Good. Feet to the floor, soles of the feet together, allow the knees to open out and then gently sway the knees from side to side. Then settle for 2 to 3 breaths. Notice if it feels comfortable into your inner thighs. Hands to the outside of the thighs, bring the knees back together, in towards the chest. Hands on top of the knees as you inhale, you're going to push the knees forward and then out to the side as you exhale in towards the chest and together. Inhale forward and out, in towards the chest and together. Inhale forward and out, in towards the chest and together. And let's reverse this into the other direction. So take the knees in as you inhale and out. And as you exhale, forward and together. 3 more times. Good. Let's stretch the right leg forward and keep the left knee in towards the chest. So you're reaching, imagine you have a skirting board at the bottom of your right foot. Take the right hand behind the head, tuck the chin in towards the chest, inhale, and then as you exhale, take the forehead towards the knee to stretch the in front of the thigh and the psoas. And twice more, exhale. Once more. Right leg comes in, left leg extends, hug the right knee in for a couple of breaths. Left hand goes behind the head, tuck the chin, inhale as you exhale, forehead towards the knee. Inhale down, forehead towards the knee. Last time, inhale. exhale, when you release the head all the way down to the floor, this time take both knees in towards the chest, hug them in tight. Feet to the floor, have the legs a little bit wider, maybe to that mat width apart. You can have the arms to shoulder height, to a little lower down or higher up. Inhale, and as you exhale, knees to one side, nose to the other. Inhale back through towards the center, knees to the other side, nose to the other side. Let's repeat this 3 more times in each direction. And when you've done each side 4 times, you can come back through towards the center. Here, we're going to use our belt. So have a hold of the belt. Put it around the pad of the left foot, or anywhere that feels comfortable on your foot really. Sometimes having this on the pad of the foot will give you a more intense stretch into the calf, so it just depends on how you feel in your body. You can keep the right foot flat to the floor or extend it along the mat. And you could have the hands onto the lower end of the belt. That leaves usually a little bit more release into the shoulders, but if you're happy to take them higher up without risking to tighten up into the neck and shoulders, then you're more than welcome to do so. So as I personally look at my foot, I can see that my right hand can be a little bit lower down because I come in, so I turn the outside edge of my left foot up towards the ceiling. So I'm going to try to resist with my left big toe and start to push the foot into the belt and the belt somewhat into the foot just to resist it. And then notice what happens into the rest of my leg as I do so. And take a couple more breaths. I'm going to take both sides of the belt into the right hand. So I take my left hand to the thigh, and then I'm going to push the thigh leg, or rather the thigh flesh up. So up and then outwardly rotate it. So now the left heel comes in a little bit more towards the midline of the body. And then I'm very gently going to bend the right elbow, and if I had hips like butter, maybe my left big toe would go towards my right ear. In my dreams. I'm just listening to what this is doing to my body, and it certainly is a stretch. Now I'm going to bring everything back through to the center, and this is maybe where you'd like a brick, because we're going to place this onto the outside of the left hip, so that when we take the belt onto the left hand and we take the right hand onto the top of the hip bone, we open out to the side. Now it's sometimes a tendency, if there isn't a brick, for the leg to go out and then the right hip will lift, whereas we're trying to keep a level pelvis. So here, allow that leg to go as down towards the floor as it wants to go. It could be up here, it could be down there, it could be any angle if you like, and that will also depend on your body shape, on your flexibility, on the time of the day, on how you are feeling. Observe if you can. Maybe take the gaze over to the other side. Let's come back up towards the center with the leg. Slide the right foot flat to the floor to let go of the left leg, and then extend both legs. Notice the sensation onto the left side. Take that brick to the other side in preparation. Both feet flat to the floor, right leg up towards the ceiling, probably not before you have the belt around it, so there we go. Remember, you can absolutely keep the left foot down to the floor at all times if that's more comfortable for your back. If you do so, try not to allow it to go out to the side because that will want to lift the right leg. So you are really keeping that foot flat and the knee aligned with the hip. So again, to start with, hands wherever they feel comfortable on the belt as long as the neck and shoulders are relaxed. And notice if I was to put a brick on top of your foot, or if you were to do it yourself, everything's DIY at the moment, would it stay there or would it fall? If it stays there, then that means that your foot is as straight, if you like, as you can. Push the foot against the belt, resist with the hands. Then I'm going to take both sides of the belt into the left hand, take the right hand to the flesh of my thigh that is coming in towards my hip, and then move it up so that then I can allow the flesh to be turned out to the outside, the long end of the mat, and that will turn my left heel in. I'm still having my brick onto my foot, which means that I'm not tilting my foot in or out. However, what will happen now is that when I take both sides of the belt into the right hand and my left hand on top of my left hip, and I open the leg out to the side, of course, my brick will fall. Or will it not? This is a first for me, so it did fall. Good. And then to the side here. So I've got my brick onto the outside of my right hip so that I know not to go too far. I might even tip the toes of the right foot in towards the face. One more breath here. And as you exhale, bring the leg back up, slide the left leg down, release the belt from around the leg. Both leg extend so that you can notice energetically the sensation there. Bring the feet flat to the floor. If you have issues with arthritis or with your knees, you can have a brick in between your thighs or in between your feet here, as we'll come up into some dynamic bridges. So hands, fingers pointing towards the toes, pressing the feet down, lengthening the back of the body down to the floor as if it was a ventouse going onto the floor as we inhale. And as we exhale, we lift the arms and the upper body, and then we release all the way down. So inhale, lengthen, exhale, lift, inhale, stay, exhale, release. Two more. 2 breaths for one movement. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, arms overhead, you come up. Inhale, you stay. Exhale, you release. Let's do this once more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stay. Exhale, release. Bring the knees in towards the chest, discard the brick if it was between your thighs or your feet, have a little roll around. And then you can either roll over onto one side, or you can take the hands to the back of the legs and then start to rock back and forth. Until you can come up to being seated there. And then as you are seated here, cross-legged or legs extended in front of you, we're going to take the left hand to the side of the left hip, right arm out, Take a couple of gliding movement into the shoulders. So imagine you've got a key that needs to go into the shoulder and it's turning in and it's turning out. Next time the palm is up, you're going to take a side bend here. So really imagine that you're anchoring that right hip down to the floor and that the left shoulder is as far away from the ears as can be, so that you can get a good stretch in the side of the body. The arm, so the right elbow is pointing, in my case, a little bit forward, but certainly up towards the ceiling. Try not to be coming in as much as your body will allow you to, of course, and then release out to the other side. Over, turning the palm a couple of times. So you're oiling there. And then hand to the side. Turn, or rather bend to the side, remembering that gap between the ear and the shoulder. But remembering that the left hip is really anchoring down so that you're not rolling to the side. So you get a maximum stretch into your body. Opening, side bending, excellent, stretching into the intercostal muscles, giving you length in the body, allowing you to breathe a little bit easier, and also narrowing the waistline a little bit. Excellent. From there, let's come onto our hands and knees, so you may roll over onto your knees and come onto the hands and knees. If it's not comfortable for you, simply extend the legs whichever way that feels comfortable. Take the hands towards the top of the mat, so you're at a slant between the shoulders and the hands. Allow the head to dangle down. Tuck the toes, come into your downward facing dog. Here, pressing the hands down in towards the floor. Allow the head to dangle, so you can shake it from side to side and back and forth. Knees are still bent in my case. Ideally in yours too, just so that we can now start to feel the thigh muscle towards the thigh bone and the thigh bone towards the hamstring. So as you gently feel that is moving back, you start to straighten into your legs. Can you take 3 more breaths here? Alternatively, stay onto your knees. And then you can walk, you can step, you can jump your feet all the way through to the front. Finding yourself into a forward bend here, feet more or less together. Have the weight evenly distributed between big toe, little toe, inhale, outer heel. We have stretched our hamstrings, so this might feel somewhat easy, maybe. You can hold onto the elbows or onto your ankles, belly to the thigh so that you can really allow the spine to drape. Not comfortable for your back, you can of course have the hands to the thighs and the longer spine rather than having the crown of the head down to the floor, it would be towards the wall in front of you. Wherever you are there, stay for another breath. And then slowly tucking the chin and curling yourself vertebra by vertebra, or if you wear half a tabletop, then you simply lift yourself up as if you were unfolding a deck chair. You have to listen to your back. Find yourself at the top of the mat, relax the shoulders, take a couple of breaths. Notice where the weight is into big toe, little toe, inner heel, outer heel. Let's inhale the arms up above the head. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips and down. Inhale, gaze forward so as to lengthen the spine and the legs. Exhale, right leg goes down, knee goes down to the floor. Inhale, arms up into a lunge. Exhale, arms down to the floor. Either come back into the hands and knees or into a down dog. Inhale forward into a plank or a half plank. Release yourself all the way down to the floor. Let's take a Sphinx. Relaxing the shoulders and allowing the spine to release. Hands to the side of the chest, sit back into your heels, lift back up. Right leg lifts and comes forward in between the hands, left knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Back leg steps forward, crown of the head down, bend the knees, sweep the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, in towards the chest. Let's do this to the other side. Inhale, arms up, maybe you're going to lengthen the tailbone, look a little bit back. Exhale, forward. Leg goes back, knee goes down. Release down. Take the front leg back into a down dog or into hands and knees. Forward into a plank or a half a plank. Release yourself all the way down. Maybe a sphinx, maybe a cobra, maybe an upward facing dog, shoulders away from the ears. Back up into a down dog. Left leg lifts, left leg comes forward, right knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Back leg to the front. Then the knees sweep the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in towards the chest. Let's see whether we can have 2 more of those. We can do some little modifications. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. This time as you take the right leg back, see whether we can keep the knee up off the floor, so when you inhale, you are into a high lunge. Exhale, release down. Front leg goes back into a down dog. Up onto the toes, forward into a plank. Release yourself into the back bend of your choice. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Right leg comes forward. Maybe knee stays off the floor. Hands to the floor, back leg to the front, crown of the head down. Then the knees sweep the floor, arms in towards the chest. 1 more. Left leg. Choose when your knee goes. Forward. Release yourself to the floor. Down dog. Left leg to the front this time. Arms up. Arms down. Then the knees sweep the floor, hands in towards the chest. And again. This time as we take the right leg back, you can keep the knee to the floor or you can keep it lifted. We may want to move that left foot out a little bit more. Right hand under the shoulder or on a brick as well. And then you can turn yourself towards your lifted left thigh. You could have the left hand down to the chest. You're trying to release the hip back, so you're trying to squeeze. Imagine there are magnets in between the top of the thighs that are trying to get towards one another. Release the hand down towards the floor. You may have that block of bricks still at hand. Back leg steps towards the front a little bit so that you can release the back foot flat and your train track width, meaning that you're at your hip width, not in a tightrope or you might wiggle wobble about. And you aim to feel big toe, little toe, inhale, outer heel, both front and back leg pressing down. You might even release the head down, or if it's more comfortable to have hand to the brick or to the leg and keep that long spine, then you do what feels good to you. Stay for another 2 breaths. And then from there, hands to either side of the front leg. Bend the front knee. Bring yourself a little bit more onto the toes and lifting the back leg. Take the hands in towards the chest. Push the back leg back. Lift the right knee up. Hug it. and release the floor. If you were wondering where the vinyasa had been at the beginning, this is where it is, with the sensor loops. Let's try this one more time. So this time, at the top of the mat, inhale, arms up, exhale, come down. But you're going to take that left leg back this time. You may have a block or a brick underneath your left hand, it's up to you. And you're going to turn, you could also have the knee to the floor, remember. A little bit more space onto the hip if you want to take the right leg out. And then you can twist towards the right thigh, trying to remember to drop still the right hip down. And you have those magnets at the top of the thigh. Elongate the spine, meaning try not to have the shoulders and the neck crunched up together, but you have the space. Then you're going to turn in, so you're going to take the back leg a little bit more in to hip width apart, straighten the front leg, choose where you want to be here, remembering to have big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel on the floor. Those of you that practice with Ujjayi breath may want to do it here. Two more breaths. Start to bend the front knee. Leave your block to the side, take the back leg in, so your hands are a little bit in front. Keep both hips facing down. You extend the left leg back. You might stay here. You might again actually use your brick onto its highest height to have a little bit of help here. Or you can take your hands in towards the chest. Inhale, as you exhale, bend the right knee, take that left knee in towards the chest, hug the knee in, and then you're going to release it down towards the floor. Good, take a couple of breaths here. I'm going to step out towards the long end of the mat. It will look like I'm looking away from you. Ideally, you're looking towards me so that you can see, but eventually our head will be down and it'll make sense in a minute. So take the front one of the legs back and then have the feet pointing in the same direction. You might want to take your heels in, parallel or slightly out. That really depends on how you bear your weight into your feet. So see that it's comfortable, and particularly when you come forward, that there are no discomfort, or there is no discomfort into your knees. Roll the shoulders up and back. Interlace the hands behind the head and then lengthen the arms. You could also use a belt to do this, and if you do so, turn the palms facing towards you so that the shoulders roll up and back and down. Inhale, lift. As you exhale, you're going to come to half a tabletop. This may be as far as you want to go. Otherwise, you can allow the crown of the head to come down to the floor and the arms to come overhead. Quite comfortable here. Enjoy. Want a little bit more? Maybe you can take the legs a little bit wider and veer towards the floor. Enough for the arms, you can release them and allow them to be towards the ankles if you wanted to. Option is to keep into that half a tabletop if you like, and to have your hands wherever they feel comfortable. How do the back of the legs feel? You're going to take the hands now, if they're still up above the head, you release them to the lower back, you slide them to the back of the legs, and you bring them to being underneath the head. Very, very gently bringing yourself onto your fingertips. so the crown of the head is long. You can walk, you can step, you can jump, you can pigeon toe those feet together. It's entirely up to you. Bend the knees wherever you are. And then here we're going to try to keep the belly towards the thighs. Lift the arms by the side of the ears. Too much, keep the hands to the hips. And then lifting yourself up. Releasing the arms out to the side. Good. From there, taking a couple of breaths, noticing where the weight resides into your feet. For me, I've come a little bit forward, so I'm going to take the feet a little bit wider. And again, big toe, little toe, inner heel, outer heel. I'll be facing towards you. But you can still, when you're on your mat, as long as you can see me. Take the hands to the hips, relax the shoulders, take the weight onto the left leg, lift the right leg, and then you're going to open out to the side. You may have toes to the floor or toes on a brick, foot on a brick, whichever way. You might even be flexible enough and have the right pair of trousers to keep that leg onto the inside. Make sure that it's like a magnet pressing and that the big toe mound of that standing foot is down to the floor. Let's inhale and lift the arms up to shoulder height if that's for you today. Turn the palms, the forearms, the upper arms, and embrace back so that you keep that openness in the body, and then come up with your fingertips. Relax the shoulders. You can challenge yourself by gazing up towards the ceiling if you wish. And then gaze forward, release the arms out, turn the palms down, knee to the front, foot to the floor, and releasing. Let's take this onto the other leg. Taking the weight onto the left leg, this time you lift the right knee, possibly toes to the floor, whatever feels more comfortable for you. I don't think I will be able to sustain this higher up on the thigh, so I'll keep it around the knee, and by doing so I keep the heel above the knee. I'm not pressing into my knee joint. Certainly big toe mound, little toe mound, inhale, outer heel of the left leg down, and really screwing the hip in. Long in the spine, imagine the crown of the head being lifted up. Inhale, arms up. We're going to turn the palms, the forearms, the upper arms. You could well have your hands in front of your chest now, or you can lift them up towards the ceiling. Enough space between the ears and shoulders so someone, very little, could hopscotch above you. Have to be a fairy. Now lifting the arms, maybe gazing up towards the ceiling. Those of you who know me well, go on, go ahead. You can come up onto the toes of that standing foot. Woo! And then gaze back forward, arms out and down, knee to the front, foot to the floor. And take a couple of breaths here to just notice what it feels like right now. Taking the weight onto the right leg again. Take the left knee in towards the chest. Alternatively, keep the foot to your brick, so this is where it may be. Have the foot to be under the hip there, okay? So you could just be here, and that will be more than enough for you. Or you could hug the knee in towards the chest, and then taking the hand to the inside, opening the knee out to the side, and see how it feels to open the other arm out. Maybe you gaze over towards the right arm. Gaze back to the center, knee comes back to the center, foot to the floor, hand down. Over to the other side, so we take the weight onto the left leg, we lift the right knee, we hug it in. We may slide the hand to the inside of the knee to open out, or you can keep it to the front, it's up to you. Lift the left arm out, maybe take your gaze over towards the left arm. Remember at all time, I know I bang on about it, there's a good reason why. Big to little to inner heel, outer heel. Your foundation is into your feet. Gaze back through to the center, knee comes back through towards the center, foot to floor. Let's take a little bit of a swing here. So you're going to have a weight onto the left leg, lift the left leg, and then release the right leg back. Lift and release. Lift and release. The next three, inhale, lift the arms, exhale, release back. Inhale, lift the arms, exhale, release back. Once more. And release the leg back through towards the front, in line with the other foot. Let's try this on the other side. So this time it is the left leg that goes back. Arms off for now, we're just testing the waters. Lift the leg, release it back. Lift the leg, release it back. Lift the leg, release it back. And then inhale, lift, and down. Inhale, lift, and down. Inhale, lift, and down. And then release. Find a little bit of time, find your breath. I know that this is an activated mind for sure. Let's go back to our trees, our open trees. And then I'd like you to try something here. And if you find it difficult to hold onto your foot, you can use your belt. So I'll demonstrate with the belt on the first side. Right foot down to the floor. Take the belt around the pad of the foot and extend. Nothing really different from what we did lying on the floor. Can you straighten the leg? If you can you take the hand to the hip? You can stay here and keep pushing. Imagine that you're pushing against a wall. Also, you could have the support of a wall if you want to. And then from this, see whether you want to open out to the side. Taking the other arm out. Try to keep the body upright. Come back through to the center, foot to the floor, and we release. Let's try this on the other side. You may want to have a pop at it with your hand on this side. You can stop the video, you can pause it, you can have a little try. Weight onto the left leg, take the right knee in. If you are going to go towards your foot, then use your index finger and middle finger around the big toe. Left hand to the left hip. Straighten the leg. If your legs are really tight and the hamstrings are really tight, have a little bending to the knee or use your arm extension, i.e. your belt. Open out to the side. Again, you'll have also people that have really long arms and short legs, works. Really long legs and short arms, not so much. It doesn't work so much. So see what feels right. Couple more breaths. Come back through to the center. Bend the knee and release. Take a few breaths. You can release the belt. Hands to the lower back, bend the knees, scoop, lift the chest and roll out. So you're taking a little back bend here. Come back to the center. If you're at the top of the mat, stay there. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Take the right leg back and then the left leg back. Find yourself into your down dog. Stay there for 3 breaths. Alternatively, come back down into your child's posture. And then release yourself down onto your knees. If you're in the child, stay in the child for another couple of breaths. I'm taking a sort of a semi-child. I'm not allowing the head to go to the floor, but I'm trying to reach towards my heels with my buttocks. Slowly and curling yourselves back up. Taking a couple of breaths. Now from here, let's see whether we can work towards a little bit more work into the shoulders. So taking the hands to the front, you're going to set yourself up as if you were to go into a down dog. So you have that slant into the shoulders, thumbs towards one another, little fingers pointing forward. This time, so where I'm facing, my left knee will go back. If you're facing the other way, you might want to do it the same way as me so that you can see the camera. So left knee will point out, and then I'm going to slide my right foot so that the foot is flat to the floor and the inner arch is more or less in line with the knee. So then there's nothing left for me to do but to lift my right arm up towards the ceiling. You can even stretch that arm over and get a beautiful divided stretch. So from the hip down to the foot, from the arm, ooh, lovely side bend again. You can now come back and then see whether you want to lift that leg. Anyone feeling it here? I am. Good. And then let's do this on the other side. So come back through towards the center. If you need a rest for your wrists, take it. But you're going to bear the weight now into the right wrist more. So from your wobbly table with the arms in dog prep, you take the right leg back, and then that left foot all the way down to the floor, align the knee with the inner arch of the foot, lift the right arm. You might stay here, or you might even get a sneaky stretch there for 2 to 3 breaths. Just pushing the left foot down. Then lift the left arm, lift the left leg. Ooh, even worse on this side for me. That sort of pinching. I think it's my limitation within my hips. And then we're going to release, knees wide, Balasana. Release the hands forward. If you'd like to build on from this, you can. By coming up onto the hands and knees, and then this time, rather than being into a hands and knee, you're going to come into your down dog. So you tuck the toes, you lift yourself up. Have width in between your feet so that when you release both heels towards the left, the right heel is in front of the left foot. Again, you lift the right arm up, and then you can stay here with your feet as they are, or you can stack those legs up, or you can even lift the leg up. And we're going to release. You would like to try it, but you're not so sure about the shoulders. I will demonstrate on this side how we do this. So, knees to floor, elbow to floor. Take the elbow so that the fingers are pointing towards the other corner of the mat. And then when you come, then the shoulder and the elbow will be in line. So from this, you're into your semi-down dog, if you like. If you're doing the other side and you know where you're going, go ahead. Otherwise here, you can lift the leg. and then release. This is of course quite strong. And release down. And I say this is of course quite strong. And this is what it feels like for me. Who am I to say what it feels like for you? You might think, oh, it's really strong. Or you might think, it's a piece of cake with a little bit of a cup of tea on the side. Depends on your experience. So, here, shall we attempt one last version of our Vasisthasana, the side plank, mixed with that Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana and reaching the leg out to the side. If you want to have a break, have a break. If you want to repeat either options that we've just done, then you can do so too. Or now you can come into your down dog, have the legs wide, feet to the left, lifting the right. Choose whether maybe you actually just stay into your tree, there, side tree, or whether you reach towards your big toe and then you try to extend the leg. Bear in mind, my leg here is not as straight as it is when I'm standing up. And then you can release. You can also attempt it with your belt, so where you would go to the side. Of course you need the belt at hand, and a loop would be even better. Mine has sort of stayed there from earlier on. So there, I would put my belt around the foot, and then lift it up. And then promptly release. Release the knees to the floor. I love having fun with you. Release the forehead to the floor. And take a bow, take a rest. Hands to the side of the knees, slowly and curl yourself all the way back up. Slide the legs out to the side, take the legs to the front. Come down slowly, vertebra by vertebra, releasing down. Oh yes, let's take the arms overhead, the legs in front. And then gently lift the left leg, take it forward, lift the right leg, take it forward, lift the right arm, take it back, lift the left arm, take it back, so that you are long and stretched and you can feel everything into the side of your body. Right knee in towards the chest, left knee in towards the chest, hugging those knees in. Toes and heels together. Take the arms out to shoulder height. Take the knees over towards the right and the gaze over towards the left. Extend the top leg here. And then go to reach maybe towards the big toes. You can even do the bottom leg as well if you wanted to. See what happens to the other shoulder. If it wants to lift, then maybe you just hold a little lower down. You're still getting that lovely back of the body stretch. If you want to make this more of a forward fold, you turn your gaze towards the extended leg, and then the other arm will actually come in. Let's all do this. And then we're folding in. Bottom leg straight or not. So a half a Paschimottanasana on your side. I've never quite called it like this before, but there you go. And then you're going to release. Come back through towards the center. Take a couple of breaths here. Legs extended or feet flat and knees up. And we'll go over to the other side. And so from there, allow both knees, toes and heels to be together, knees fall over towards the left, your arms to about shoulder height. You can gaze over onto your right side. You can stay here. You can also take the top leg and even the bottom leg towards the left hand or your right hand if you're doing the other side. Making the most of the stretch that has happened into the back of the neck. Let's turn inwards towards that leg to come into a forward fold. That salutation to the west on your side if you like. And so you're aiming to take the head towards the leg. One last final hamstring stretch. Then you gaze back, you release the leg on top of the other, bring everything back through towards the center. Feet wider than the hips, knees knocking towards one another. Hands into your belly, close your eyes. You may now extend the legs if you wish, or come into any position that makes you feel comfortable so that you can let go. So that you can soften. And so that you can bring your body into a restful position. Noticing how the body feels. If you're holding it if you're holding in tension, residual tension, can you let it go through the breath? Or maybe through tightening that area consciously harder as you inhale and then allowing the exhale to release it. Even though your eyes are closed, bring them down towards your feet. That sounds silly. Bring the gaze down, not your eyes. Don't gouge your eyes out. It's the idea of coming into yourself, so looking into yourself. If you notice that your eyes want to roll back up, gently bring them back down. And notice the subtleties inside of you. Maybe you can sense the breath or the body slowly releasing. Let go of the eyes if they were still looking downwards. Become more aware of the sounds that are inside and outside of the room where you are. Take some gentle movement. Then take slightly bigger movements. Move the knees from side to side, maybe once you've got the feet flat and the knees up. Eventually rolling over onto one side, curled up. You can open your eyes, allow your gaze to focus. Then press the top hand down, bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated posture, whatever this may be for you. Let's take 3 breaths together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale loudly through the mouth. Breath. Release the thumbs to the forehead for kind thoughts, to the lips for kind words, and the heart for kind actions. Namaste, Absolute.